Hi there, Simon from simonwood.com. I've got 5 Sauvignon wines. 3 of them are 100% Sauvignon Blanc, 2 of them have got other things in. The way I've organised them in alcohol order, and it turns out that it's also vintage order. Hey, I've got 2 French, a Spaniard, 2 Chileans. The French one to start with. Prestige de CALVET Bordeaux Semillon Sauvignon 2010, weighing in at 12% alcohol, 12% alcohol. Well, there's some okay sort of pithy lemon bits in here, but it feels actually slightly flat. I don't know whether it needs to come further out of its shell, because I know Semillon's a grape that can need a little bit of time to blossom. A bit sulky today, not very expressive, apart from that, yeah, that sort of vague green edge, but doesn't feel like it's going to have the zip and zest maybe I'm looking for in Sauvignon. Or in Semillon Sauvignon, for that matter. Well, it's okay. Yeah, it's got that crisp pithiness, but maybe not quite enough of it. It hasn't got enough of that slightly spine-tingling, sometimes spine-jarring Sauvignon edge, and it doesn't have that rich undercurrent of that I enjoy in good Semillon wines. So, certainly not something I'm going to tip away if I have a glass, but maybe I wouldn't be reaching for a second one. Let's see how we get on with Spar's Sauvignon Blanc Van de Peydoc. Has it got a vintage on? No, I can't see a vintage. But it's hand selected. That means I'll have that one. I'll have that one. That's what hand selecting means. It doesn't. You know it means something else. But it doesn't say really on the back of here who's made it. But just let's give it a whirl. Slightly more jelly-like here. I was mentioning with the first one that maybe I'd have liked something a little bit more crisp and tangy. This one feels like it's going to be even not muddy's the wrong word, but it feels like it's going to be just a bit of soft and maybe not quite the edges and the spikiness that I want in Sauvignon. I don't want too much of it, but I want a little bit of it. I want a little bit of prickle and zest. Actually tastes okay. But it's this sort of vague lemon-lime jelly edge. Nothing that really makes me want to jump up and down and say anything particularly nice or unfavourable about it. So if I can't say anything, I might as well move on. Castel del Remy Blanc Planel. I don't know if Planel's a vineyard or whatever. 2010, Costas del Segre. And it says on the front, Exotico y persistente. Exotic and persistent. I suppose a bit like me. But this isn't 100% Sauvignon. It's a Sauvignon Blanc and Macabeo. Now, Macabeo is not the most aromatic of grape variety. If you think of, it's also known as Viura, and it's the main grape of white Rioja. By itself, it makes sort of simple, easy, vaguely crisp, quasi-Sauvignon-like wines, but really needs something like a little bit of oak aging to give it true character. Here, I get a bit of that slightly catty, green, grassy Sauvignon, but the Macabeo seems to be sort of just rounding it out, giving it body rather than out-and-out character. Has got a bit of crispness and it has got a little bit of what I call life beyond fruit, the bit of the stoniness, the minerality. But again, not great, but favourite of the 3 so far. What's good about it is it's got that crispness, it's got that crisp edge, and it's also got a bit of weight with it. But the finish I'm left with, yeah, as I say, life beyond fruit, fruit and this pebbly edge. Nice. One of those that would pass what I call the empty bottle test. Maybe it's not going to go out and out and woo competition judges or me at the moment, but stick it on the table. That's the bottle that will probably get finished before some louder wines. Let's see whether we've got louder wines with the 2 Chileans. First one, Casillero del Diablo Sauvignon Reserva Privada. So a step up from the basic Casillero del Diablo. And this is from Limeri. One of the valleys that made its name for Pisco grapes. Pisco is well, there's debate about who invented Pisco. Was it the Peruvians? Was it the Chileans? The Peruvians probably did, but the Chileans make maybe a little bit more noise about it. And there's more of the catty, green, peppery tang of Sauvignon here. Cattiness, I don't mind. A little bit of that grassiness. Green pepper, in small amounts, I can cope with it. When it takes over the wine and it just, you think, yeah, okay, there's a very distinctive character here, but I'm not sure whether I want too much of it. Here it seems to be in nice proportion. It feels like quite a young wine. I mean, it's just over a year old here, but feels like its best is still to come. Yeah, I just find that slight cattiness just too aggressive at the moment. So it is quite a rich wine. It's got these flavours like the bit ripe citrus, but then something else more maybe a bit more exotic like guava, pawpaw, but all the while this green edge going through. And I just wish there was a little bit less of that and a little bit more of maybe of that stony minerality that there was in the one before. Hey, it's okay. But that's what I was talking about, louder wines. That's a louder wine than the Castel del Remy, but I think I'd actually want to drink more of the Castel del Remy. Let's see how we get on with the final one. Casa Marin 2009 Cipresses Vineyard. So called because they've probably got cypress trees there. I was just about to tip the wine into the spittoon. Let's not do that. We're in San Antonio here. So San Antonio is the bit of which Leda is a subzone. Well, it's a year older than the Casillero, and all the better for it, in my opinion. It feels like there is an edge of that green pepper, ever so slight cattiness, but the extra year has mellowed it. I have a feeling that it was not quite as shrieky as the Casillero was in the first place. So you're getting a richer, rounder wine, but one in which still there's there is the greenness that I want in Sauvignon. There is that, but again, as well as the citrus, there's also things like green gauge coming through here. That tang, that richer tang, that sort of more wholesome, earthy gooseberry tang rather than maybe the slightly catty citrus of the Casillero. And the green pepper in nice, it's there, but it's not overwhelming. Yeah, there's a richness and roundness there. Yes, it's 13.5% alcohol, which for Sauvignon, actually there are higher alcohol Sauvignons, but what it's got is it's got flesh to stand up to that higher alcohol level, and it has got this this fine backbone. It's got the minerality, it's got the acidity, and it's still 18 months on from vintage. No, 2 years on from vintage. It's got freshness and tang, and that's the one that I would probably be drinking most of this evening. Then the Castel del Remy. But hey, 5 Sauvignons, 5 Sauvignon E wines. See you soon.